Well, welcome back, dear listeners, and welcome to the Reforming Nerdom podcast. I am one of your hosts, Jordan Cecile, and I am joined today with the two other of the three amigos, all of us back together. Nate, P. Nate, Pastor Nate, Nathaniel P. Wright. Nate, how are you doing?
Doing great. It's nice to the three of us be together. I can't even remember the last time the three of us recorded.
Feels like forever. No, it wasn't last week.
Didn't we record
no.
you last week? You weren't on the episode, Ben.
No.
Yeah, you weren't here.
Talk about board games.
Oh,
with
yeah,
Michael.
that's right. Great episode.
Yeah, we had
heck of an episode. Yeah.
I mean, Michael, I think, really wanted that to be his. His tester. He's pushing it. He wants the four amigos. Yeah, he wants the four amigos. And so, Michael, if you're listening to this, not yet, you have a lot to prove.
I very much took that as he just wanted to replace me.
Yeah, that's no.
It felt very specifically pointed at you.
Like I was a little hurt.
Yeah, well then you're going nowhere, Michael. He's the guy at the end of the bench, and when we need him, we'll call him up. He's just like chomping at the bit to come on. So but it was great. It was actually really nice.
It wasn't
to have
a
Michael.
strikeout. We called him up off the bench to pinch hit. He did get it. He got on base. I mean, he didn't. Wasn't a home run, but he got on base when we needed him to. So it wasn't a strikeout.
It was bunt.
I was going to say it was a swinging bunt.
Runners,
it was a swinging bunt that just stayed foul or fair. The guy couldn't make a play on it, and so he's on base. So that was good. And we are also joined by, and not going anywhere anytime soon, Ben Jammin, aka Ben of the Cloth, aka Headmaster Ben. Ben, welcome back.
You can just call me Dumbledore now.
Really? Oh yes,
nice.
That's a flex. I like that. I really like that.
Does
Claire
that make Jake Snake? I'm pretty sure.
So Mel can be McGonagall. I like that. I think she'd be okay with that, right? Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, well, I'll get us all like desk nameplates.
Yes.
Like with the AKA. Yeah, I like.
Yeah, I like that. Claire is actually 100% obsessed with Harry Potter right now, which just like warms my heart because it's like the first time like she's loved reading. She was reading Boxcar Children or whatever those are, and like all these like little things. I got her reading my Old Bailey School Kids, and then I convinced Melissa that it's like, I mean, Tessa's read Harry Potter. Claire's other friends have read Harry Potter.
Tessa just like days ago finished number 7.
Oh, sweet. So I convinced Mel that it's fine. She can read Harry Potter. And so not that she was against it, but she was just in her mind, she was thinking reading Lord of the Rings would be more appropriate age-wise before reading Harry Potter, just because and I was like, no, it's not. And so, yeah, so she is taking her book everywhere she goes with her. Like in the car, she's reading before bed. She's reading first thing in the morning she's not listening to audiobooks as much because she's just reading, and it just makes me so happy.
That's great.
I'm so happy.
Yeah, now
I can talk to her about it.
Yeah, I will say, like, I definitely did pace Tessa with Harry Potter. Like, I don't think, because how is she? Claire's 8?
She's just about to turn. She's just turning 9.
Yeah.
In
So
October.
like, I wouldn't let a 9-year-old read number 7. I don't think. Like they do get a little bit kind of darker, a little bit, like mature themed near the end. But yeah, I mean, to read the first few as a 9-year-old, totally, like that's actually like the perfect sweet spot.
Where does it rank for Tessa? Like she's big into like Narnia and
the whole series or
saga. Where did Harry Potter stack up to like Wingfeather for her?
She loved the early books. Like she said book 3 was still her favorite. Just for like she loved the Peter Pettigrew reveal, and she really likes I'm not a Harry Potter guy. What's his name?
Lupin.
Yeah, Lupin. Yeah, Lupin's her
Lupin,
favorite
yeah.
of the teachers, and the Peter Pettigrew reveal at the end of book 3. She really liked book 3 the best. She said 7 is her second favorite. So that's as far as the books go. But she went through phases. Like she had like a major Harry Potter phase when she was reading the first like 4 or 5 books. And then she kind of took a pause and she got into others. She got more into um Wing Feather, more into like I would say my kids like Narnia. None of my kids have like obsessed over Narnia.
Mhm.
Um and she really likes Lord of the Rings. I think she likes the Lord of the Rings movies better than Harry Potter. She probably likes
Mm.
the Harry Potter books better than Lord of the Rings, is what I would say. Yeah.
Yeah. That's like a thing I've tried to I've thought about, like, why is it that even I would rather read Harry Potter than Lord of the Rings? Because I think Lord of the Rings is obviously better written. The lore is better. It's well, like it's such a more like robust world. But for whatever reason, like I just find reading Harry Potter so like easy and like it's just comfort food for me. And I don't know if that is just pure nostalgia, and it's because it was the book series that I read as I was growing up and they came out as I was reading them. But yeah, it's interesting that Harry Potter, it's like plot holes galore. It's not the best writing, but yet there's just something about those books that, I mean, magical. Like it's just I don't know what it is about those that I find just so compelling.
She hit on so that like British school uh fantasy like for whatever reason that just like hits really well. There's like a lot of nostalgia, a lot of like people like wish they it's just a lot of like wish fulfillment there. And then you also have the like, oh, not only that, I'm also a magical wizard, which I didn't know.
Yeah.
It's just there's just like a ton of wish fulfillment, but not in like a ham-fisted way. Like I don't know, I think they're, yeah, like obviously there's a reason it's sold at a bazillion copies.
It was really interesting. I was curious, and I wasn't totally surprised by this, but I asked ChatGPT which series is more valuable, and Harry Potter is like orders of magnitude more valuable than Lord of the Rings, factoring all, merchandise,
Oh,
Lego, video games, books, movies. Like even though Lord of the Rings, those movies will go down. I think objectively are the best movies ever made. I shouldn't say objectively, but I think it's
I was
well
just gonna say,
that that
whoa,
is a
whoa, whoa.
yeah.
that is like a well
Scientifically proven.
yes. You know what? I feel like we could have that conversation, but it is like such a well respected movie series. But it was like 8 or 9 times Harry Potter's value compared to Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Like
Shocked
it
by that.
wasn't,
The
yeah,
the
it wasn't even close.
anything you're gonna that is geared towards kids more than adults is gonna
Mm,
be more valuable if it hits, right? Because like you're not selling Lord of the Rings toys to 5-year-olds, but you are selling
yeah.
Harry Potter stuff to 5-year-olds.
A- And I think actually one of the things that just came to mind, which what might make Harry Potter that just like so popular regardless of generations, is there's not a lot in the books that really tie it to a specific time period. So a kid like Tessa can read it now and not be thinking like, oh, I'm reading a book about kids back in the early 90s. Like she can think of that very much as a book that she could be like, those could be, Harry could be her peer right now, even though it was written and set back in
Well,
like the
because
early 90s when
yeah,
those,
because they spend so little time in like actual
yeah.
real world London or Britain or whatever. Like most of the time is
Yep.
spent at the school, which is kind of stuck in time, in a
Hmm.
way that, yeah, it's pretty timeless. Yeah.
I just want to give you one warning. I'm pretty sure Claire now, because she's starting at KCA, is treating it as she's going to Hogwarts in September.
I'm
So she might
I
show
will
up.
I'll hide like a Marauders map somewhere
Yeah.
and yeah, for
Yeah,
some
like
kid to stumble upon.
if she doesn't get sorted into a house, I think she's going to be really disappointed. So just know that that'd be, I mean, how fun would that be if you actually did that? I realize timing wise and everything, but if there was like actual houses, that could be kind of fun too.
It'll just be their class. It'll just be their grades.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But
They're in
so
grade 2, and then throw
we
in their grade
we
2
do
class.
we do need to talk a bit more about Harry Potter, and I hate to say it, I hate it. I think we need to bring on Michael for that, because Michael is actually like a huge Harry Potter fan. He knows those books, and he's in like his typical Michael way. He's like thought about Harry Potter in such a deep way, but he's also thought about it in a very like theological way as well. So he and I, when we were at Worldview together a couple weeks ago, we were chatting about it, and it was. I actually think he would be really great for that conversation on like the merits of Harry Potter. Because I think that is a thing. And Nate, you were right there when it came up, but one of the mentors went on this like tirade about why they can't read Harry Potter. And then like I kind of chimed in and was like, well, okay, so talk to me about that. And like his reasons just kind of fell apart because he tried to say that Lord of the Rings is different and Narnia is different because anyways, we don't need to get into that. Let's save that for an episode where we could talk about that. But it was just interesting how Harry Potter seems to be in its own thing where people would say, no, that's wrong. But anything else that has a wizard or magic in it is totally cool, but Harry Potter's off bounds. And so it's just interesting, Michael, hearing him talk about that and his thoughts. And so I do think we should, because the HBO show is being filmed right now, the new one.
What do you think
And
Michael likes more, Harry Potter or Exploding Kittens?
Well, he certainly thinks Exploding Kittens has made more money than Harry Potter. Objectively more money.
I want to know what was going on in his head to say that. Like, was that a slip, or do you really mean that, Michael? Because that was something. There's 50 board games that you could say that would make more money than Exploding Kittens. Now, I haven't played Exploding Kittens. Have you guys actually played Exploding Kittens?
You know
Like, is
what?
it?
I
I
was in the
have
grocery
actually.
store the other day and I was walking past. I just went in for something. So I went to kind of the corner that I need to go to. And I was walking back through one of those middle aisles that I never go to. And it had like a little board game section. And I saw Exploding Kittens and it was there for $12.99. And I almost bought it just because I'm like, it must be good if Michael thinks it's the highest grossing game of all time.
It's pretty
But
good.
I did.
It's pretty
I-
good, but it's not really kid like my kids, well, my older kids could play it fine, but it's
It's not.
it's kind of difficult actually.
It's no cover your assets.
Yeah.
That's you know what? So we did buy it. The three of us, us and our wives, 2 nights ago, we played it. That was the first time I played it. It was great. We loved it, and we found it on Amazon for actually it was a little cheaper than I thought it was going to be. So we picked it up because we're going to our church family camping thing, and so we packed up all of our other board games, and they're in storage right now. As we're getting ready to move, so we were like, well, we can't bring any of our other stuff, so let's just pick that up, and we're gonna play some Cover Your Assets. That was a great game. Super
Yeah.
simple, but yet
Yeah,
it was
that's what I
also
mean.
fun.
Yes,
I mean,
simple.
yeah, I mean, it's a game where there's certainly an aspect of chance that it's like you can't really get around the fact that it's like, oh, you pull the card that you need and you take, you know,
The big asset.
Nate's, yeah, like or just because and it's fun though because you can do a little bit of picking on people where it's like, Nate, you just seem to really want your baseball cards, and it's like, nope.
They're worth nothing, but I just kept getting them. Yeah.
You
And
know, that
then
was fun.
figuring out a couple rounds in, figuring out just the power of the pennies, right? Because then you can cover like yeah, so
Yeah.
there's a couple cool little things. But you're right, 6 players with that was a little bit. I think 4 is
Yeah,
the
I think
sweet
so.
spot. But Colleen and I'll still play that with just the 2 of us. It's still fun.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was fun. And we actually got a lot of positive feedback about the board game episode. Heard a number of people were saying they listened to it and enjoyed it. And I really do think board games are one of the lost things that we need to reclaim and do, because it's I mean, during COVID, me and my buddies, especially like early on, but and people living far away, like online gaming is great because you get the conversation, you can do something, you're accomplishing something together. But there's something about being Nate, the term that you often use is that incarnational ministry, and it's like incarnational fellowship, right? Like doing it together, and you're laughing. And I mean, I think there could be an argument there for being like one of the best party games that you could play, at least in our experience. Like we played it again Monday, and just it's such a great fun game that and like yeah, the somebody was mentioning on Monday like the inside jokes that come from it. It's like it's so true, because like all the silly words that somebody tries to pull or somebody doesn't think of or whatever, it just ends up being such a great, like the memories that you get from playing code names.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
The amount of inside jokes that get like created with a group of friends that play code names together is pretty high. Like all
And
I have
and
to
then
do is
and then
say
and they grow
Grey's
over
Anatomy
time.
and
Like,
Jordan
every time you
Peele.
play it,
Yeah.
it you know, it keeps mutating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can, like, call back to things that you talked about, because you guys got a wrong answer or something like that, and it was just like, now I know that, Scotland will always get Ben to pick Wall.
So Ben, I'd be curious your thoughts on this. I mean, you're a competitive guy, but when we were playing with the ladies at NBC one night, the guys we went out, we just went for like a cigar and a beer, and we were just chatting about codename strategies. Is it fair to say that you can implement your own secret code for certain things? Because like one of the things we were trying to figure out, where it's like if there's on the board, if there's like 5 letter words, and the one that you want is all 5 letter words, could you do something to indicate that it's like, look at the 5 letter words, or it starts with and ends with T and S or TH?
I mean, I feel like that does kinda go against the spirit of the game. Uh, I'm not as the one that I would be definitely opposed to is, like, using the grid to, like, actually pinpoint, to somehow,
Yeah.
like, column and
Yeah.
row, like,
Mm-hmm.
point the card. Um, I don't know.
To do, like,
Court.
coordinates?
Yeah.
Yes. Because like one of the things that I was thinking of was like TH words, right? Where it's like theater, TH, theater. And then is anyway,
Sure.
is that
Sounds like Jordan needs to go to confession, is what it
I mean, when you lose just like 3 in a row like we did on Monday night, it's like you got to start thinking outside the box a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
But
I mean,
anyways, no,
we
that
had
was
some great clues, though.
Great
oh yeah.
clues.
Yeah,
Elisha
no.
from 3.
Oh, that was good. Well, before we get into our topic of the show, which I think should be fun, it's been a little bit since we've kind of chatted about some of the nerdy things that we're kind of doing right now, some of the things that we're excited about. I think all of us kind of have some stuff that I mean, we're all super busy right now. The summer's been super packed, but I mean, there's some stuff that we've been still managing to do, stuff that we're kind of excited about. So, Nate, what's something right now that you're kind of nerd related, excited about currently, stuff that you're excited about coming up? What's on the horizon?
Uh, well, just what was that? A week ago, 2 weeks ago, we had a kind of guys social cigar night in our church. There's like 30 or 40 guys there, eh?
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was a good night of
yeah, it was.
fellowship. And Devin was there, who's one of our patrons and who listens to the podcast regularly. So we were talking about Star Wars Unlimited quite a bit. He's definitely nerding out over that. So I find like I'm playing it with my kids and that's fun. But like talking to like an actual like deck builder adult who's into it, like and talking strategies and different leaders and combinations and stuff like that was quite fun. So I like we haven't actually planned out the night yet, but like doing that draft is I'm pretty stoked about that. And I'm still kind of exploring the new set, right? Legends of the Force and the whole like the forces with you mechanic and stuff like that. So I'm just enjoying like figuring out little deck building things. I'm looking forward to having a night where we get to play it with some adults and get deeper into the strategy. And so then that got me looking at what's coming up for it. And the next set is set to release on November 7th, and it's called Secrets of Power. And I believe they're going deeper into like the back story of Star Wars, like some of the extended universe stuff. They teased that out a bit in the recent set with like Revan and Darth Malak and some of those guys. So I think they're going to be going back. It'd be cool to see like Bane and some of those guys in the set. So I'm interested in seeing that. And then that just like getting into like trading card games and strategies and stuff has got me back into like I've had a couple nights where I'm like, I got a couple hours free. Should I just download Magic Arena and just get back into Magic the Gathering? So it just made me look up what some of their new sets are. So they did a crossover that released in June, which was a Final Fantasy crossover. Like, I loved Final Fantasy when I was young. That was a game that I loved playing. And then in September, they have like a Marvel crossover with a Spider-Man set.
Mm.
So that was just kind of interesting. So I don't know if I'll download Magic Arena. I feel like I don't have time for it. So if I download it, it'll either be temptation to procrastinate responsibilities
Yeah.
or effort and futility. But I would say those are the nerdy things that I'm into right now. Like I'm enjoying, like, just the other night we were sitting and chatting, and Colleen and I were playing a Racco, and then she got a phone call, and so she went off a little bit, and she came back. She's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And I was literally just looking at, like, I was on Star Wars Unlimited Reddit, looking at like different combos for the new set, and like reading through Reddit, and I'm like, I'm just building Star Wars decks in my head. So yeah, those are a couple things I'm looking forward to, is new sets for that.
With Magic, with the Final Fantasy and Marvel, do those play against any other Magic cards? Like, is that kind of the beauty of it?
Yeah, you can, I mean, there's always gonna be, like, formats. So, right, like, in standard, it's rotating, so the new sets are always, legal in standard with the last, basically, it's the last, like, 2 blocks. So each block in Magic is 3 mini sets. It creates a set, and so once a new set releases, there will be three sort of mini release sets within the bigger set, and standard is always the last 2 big sets. So it can get up to, standard can, 6 sets, right? 6 mini sets within it. So yeah, you'll always be playing against other cards. It's not like you have to only play the Spider-Man cards within the Spider-Man universe. Now those cards go into the Magic universe, and they can be reprinted in later sets or anything. So yeah, they just become a part of the massive collection.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'm excited to once we move and are settled, and then I'm looking forward to doing a little bit more deck building myself with what we have, and we can do our draft night because Devin is just chomping at the bit. I think poor guy, we set the guy up and we're just like, hey, yeah, like let's do this. And he's like, Yeah, okay, fine, I'll get into it, sure." And now he's just like, guys, where are you? I like, can we just get a night and do this? Like, I'm dying here. And so he did get it. I think it was his brother or brother-in-law and another friend. So he's got some people that he is playing with. So, which is good. But now he is, I think, exceeding probably you, Ben, even. Like, he is spending a lot of time thinking about it and building out stuff and playing online. Like, he's ready to go.
Oh,
So
yeah.
he's going to dummy me. I haven't been able to think about it in like a month
I
at
haven't
least.
even
So
I haven't even looked at the most recent set, like, at all. The Legends of
yeah,
the Forest. Like, I've seen bits and pieces of, like, reveals and stuff, but I have not. I haven't opened a pack. I haven't built a deck,
yeah,
even online, like, nothing.
yeah.
Want to, though.
Would you say, Ben, is that the thing that you're kind of most pumped for? Is there anything else for you that you're excited about? I know you're thinking school stuff. I mean, you're about to launch a
Yeah.
school, so
Yeah, like, I would say that, like, like, that's, like, the next, if I'm gonna take a night to go do that, or, like, we went to see Fantastic Four there a few weeks ago. Like, if the next kind of, like, I'm gonna spend a night to do something nerdy, I'd love it to be playing Star Wars cards. That
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm looking forward to that. I do have a few things here that I'm really excited for. One of them is the new James Islington book, The Strength of the Few, which I know you guys haven't read The Will of the Many yet, but you will because you have to. And too many people. It's kind of the new book at our church right now that's kind of sweeping over everybody because all the people who we got into Stormlight Archive, most of them have now read through all the Stormlight Archive, and we're waiting for something new. So Chris told me to read Will of the Many. I read it, absolutely loved it. Got a bunch of people reading it. They're now just like absolutely in, and it's, I think, better than any of the Stormlight books, Will of the Many. So the Strength of the Few is coming out in November. So we're actually hoping to do, we're going to do a call with our patrons and on our Discord talking about the Will of the Many, because there's, I think, probably 3 or 4 people in that right now reading it. And then there's a few people who have already read it and just are always wanting to talk about it. Like
Hmm.
Perry, who's in our Discord, and he's one of the guys at our church at baseball now often. at baseball were just talking about Will of the Many because she just wants to talk about it. So he's like going on Reddits and like reading the theories for the next book and everything. So I'm really excited for that. But back to Harry Potter, Audible is releasing a full cast audiobook. Like what would you call that? Something theater.
Oh yeah, like a radio theater.
Audio theater.
Yeah, audio theater. And they're releasing that I think in November. All 7 of them. And just 1 second, I'm gonna pull up Harry Potter cast, and it's I think a pretty big cast. Yeah, the full cast edition for the Harry Potter book. Yeah, Hugh Laurie, otherwise known as House. He's gonna be Dumbledore. Um, yeah, there's a few other big cast members on there, but I'm really excited for that because I think I know you guys really like, was it the Narnia, the Focus of the Family? I think that Ben, that was the one that you mentioned. You said that was really good. So you think about how good that was, and then you take Harry Potter and you take actual actors and actresses. Not saying that the other ones weren't, but like bigger name, like Hugh Laurie's a big actor. And so you take the production quality and the budget of an Audible and you put that to Harry Potter. So I'm expecting that to be incredible. So I'm really looking forward
I'm
to that. And
expecting that to be better than the HBO series.
Yeah,
I
I
agree.
agree.
Because they're just going to stick to the source material, and they're just gonna like it's just going to be the book. So I agree. I think these are going to be one of the best ways to experience Harry Potter. So I started, because Claire's really into it. I started reading the first book, and I read through Philosopher's Stone again. But then I'm stopping because I don't want to listen and read through these ones right now to then just do it again in November. I'd rather wait for the new ones to come out. So I'm going to read that, which I'm very excited for. And then there's a game coming out, and this game excites me because it's by the company. I think it's Dotemu is the company that made Shredder's Revenge, the Ninja Turtles game that came out a couple years ago, which was just praised by everybody because it was just such a great, fun game. All the nostalgic beats that you
Just sweet
want and everything.
throwback. Yeah.
And so this is a Marvel one, and it doesn't have a release date. It just says 2025. So I'm hoping sometime this year it's still coming out. But it is, yeah, Marvel, and it's the same guys, and they're brilliant developers. They're masters of that kind of 2D side scrolling beat 'em up kind of game. So that's one that all of us will be able to play because it'll be on everything. So like Ben on your Switch, Nate on your stuff, like all of us will be able to play that, and I'm pretty sure all of us will, and it will have online co-op,
Oh,
which is awesome.
will it be
So
on? Will it be on like previous gen, like PS4? So that's
Like
all
Game
I
Boy.
that's a yeah, Game Boy. Um, That is a good question. What platforms it will be on? I'd be very surprised if it was on N64, or sorry, PS4 at this point.
N64
N64
would be
would be
baffling,
wild.
actually.
That'd be wild. But yeah, it will be Switch, PS4, or PS5. I don't know PS4. That's a good question, but it's a side-scrolling 2D game, so that it doesn't actually require a lot technically. So it could. There's no reason it couldn't be on PS4. It's just whether or not they're still developing games for that. But that will be a lot of fun. So I'm excited for that because that's a great game. Right now in my phase of life, a game that can take me 10 hours to beat and I can play with the kids is just the sweet spot because it's not a game that I have to commit 30 to 40 hours to. I just don't have the time to. I have probably a dozen games from the past year and a half that are free games with the PlayStation subscription, or Nate, one of our Discord guys, he and I game share. So he gets a game, I buy a game sometimes, and there's just so many games that I haven't gotten to play. I mean, one of them right now that I'm trying to get into, and I think I'm just going to buy it on the Switch too, just because it's easier for me to play on that than the set it up on the TV. But the Tony Hawk game, Michael brought that up last week, the new Tony Hawk 3+4, and I've played a little bit of it, and it's just so good. They've just made a brilliant game. I love the first remake that they did, so I'm hoping to get into that a little bit. But I'd say the biggest thing that I'm excited for the rest of this year is Stranger Things. And I know you guys fell off Stranger Things a bit, but the last season was so good, and the production quality of that show, like Netflix is just, I think, given them a blank check and said, just make the craziest, most ridiculous, unbelievable TV show ever. and that's kind of what they're doing. So I'm excited to see how that wraps up. Yeah, the last season was so good. I really did enjoy it. So that I'm very much looking forward to.
I do not
Unrelated.
understand the streaming economics. Like,
I don't know if
how
they
do they get return on investment for these insanely expensive shows?
honestly, they don't really. And like it's a long-term thing that they're doing because I think I remember reading quite a while back that Netflix like doesn't profit because they just keep like borrowing money and raising investor like I don't like they make a lot of money, but in terms of their actual profit at the end of the day, I don't think is super high because their big thing was just they invested so much into creating content to get subscribers. And that's why you're seeing them raise prices like at least every year. Like now to get just like a basic, even ad free is like double the cost of what a Netflix subscription was just like a few years ago. Like it's crazy how expensive Netflix has become because I don't think they make a ton of money, but I think they just see the value. Like it's a long term play. I guess.
Right. Get you off Paramount and Prime and Crave. Get
Yeah.
you on Netflix and then just slowly turn up the tap.
Yeah, and they do because you increase it by a couple bucks here and there, but then all of a sudden you realize you're paying 20. If you want 4K, you're paying close to $30 a month now for Netflix to do that,
Dude,
which is
which
nuts.
was
If
what
you
you were
then,
paying for cable not that long ago.
I know it's
I'm saying
crazy.
cut the cord, $7 a month, but yeah,
Yeah,
we could do a whole other episode on that.
Yeah, I saw a meme the other day. It was like, I can't wait till somebody like combines all of my streaming services into one single app. We could call it cable.
yeah. It's kind of going back there because I mean, you got Paramount, you've got Crave, you have Prime, you have Netflix, you have Disney. It's yeah, it's so silly, like how like you're not saving any money now. You're arguably paying more when you put it all
Yeah.
together. It's
Well, and then like NHL Network, MLB,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, actually, speaking of sports, the thing that not really, I mean, you could make an argument for why this is nerd related, but one of the things I'm most pumped for this fall is fantasy football. I am very excited to get back into fantasy football. I don't think you guys don't do fantasy football, do you?
Yeah, I'm not into it enough. Like I feel like that's the one where you're either like really doing it or don't bother. So I
Mm,
don't bother.
right. Yeah.
Right now, I'm pretty content just trouncing both of you in fantasy baseball. So,
Get
you know,
barely ahead of me.
I don't know if that's true, Ben.
I'm in
I think
second place.
he's yeah, but he's 7.5. He's 7.5 games up on
we got some
you,
games in hand, bro.
on Perry, and then I'm a game behind you guys. Yeah, no, you had a couple big weeks in a row, Nate. That really, I
Well,
mean, Ben, you losing 9-0.
yeah, I
That
was
was
gonna
that
say it
was
was
fantastic.
less a big week for him and more just a terrible week for me. But
You've had two bad weeks in a row.
I
I think you
know.
lost 9-0 2 weeks ago, and then what 2-6-2
Yeah.
last week. I mean, I was
And here
three
I am
six and
still
one.
sitting in second place.
I know. So
You know what they call
I,
second place?
The
not first place.
the
The
best
first loser.
guy who's not.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the best loser. So, yeah, I'm excited for that. We've built quite a league at church. It's all guys who are really into football, and so it's a lot of fun. Like guys who really do care about it and get into it. So it's so much better when you see each other at church on Sunday. You're talking about the games that are coming up and everything. And yeah, I'm really excited for that. But yeah,
Yeah,
so
I would say
listeners.
you were asking like what I'm excited for coming up. I would say the only like media that I am consuming right now is Blue Jays baseball. Because a couple of
Yeah,
my boys are very much into that now. Like Thatcher comes down every morning. First words out of his mouth are, "Can we watch the Blue Jays highlights?" And it's like, "Yes, of course we can."
yeah.
So
But seriously, that has actually hindered my movie, TV, video game stuff because the Jays, this just doesn't happen much. Like Ben, you
yeah,
and I have
Winning
been Blue Jays
get
fans
in.
our whole life. It's just this doesn't happen where the Jays are not only the top of the AL East, but it's like they're the top of the American League. Maybe not right now, but they have been for a bit,
Yeah, they
and
are.
they were top of the
They're
league there for a
number
week.
one team in the American League right now.
So that doesn't happen.
Brewers higher.
Yeah,
What's
and
that?
so
Yeah,
I
oh
think it's
yeah,
just the Brewers with a better record, but
the
they're
Brewers are just going
crazy
bonkers.
weird.
yeah, what is it right now? Because so this just in our lifetime, I can remember because I know I can't remember 92, 93 when they actually won. So in my life where I can actually remember the Jays being the top of the AL East, I don't think that's ever actually happened.
No, because even in 15-16, they were not top of the AL.
No, no.
They
And so
scraped in with
Leaked
that
into the
winning streak.
playoffs in 15. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, so because right now, what is it? Yeah, the Jays have a 579 win percentage. Tigers are 574. And then in the NL, Phillies are 575. Yeah, it's the Brewers 633.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who
the
who
Milwaukee
picked the Brewers
Brewers. Yeah.
or the Jays,
So
really?
so one more thing, and we're gonna actually do an episode hopefully in the next couple weeks because I totally forgot that we actually went through all of the movies, or all the movies and our movie predictions
Oh,
have come out.
they're totally done.
It's done. Superman was the last one. So I'm going to go through or have somebody else go through. I might get Melissa to do this for me. Listen to our episode. Just, I want to make sure that all of our prediction scores are accurate before we tally it up, just to make sure that what everybody said is what I have here. But we do have a winner from at least a tentative winner. And I will say there were 2 perfect predictions.
Oh wow, that's
Wow.
exciting.
Both by the same person.
That was definitely
Wow.
me.
And then there was, I have right here the worst prediction. And then, yeah,
It was also Ben just takes all of them.
no, you know what? I'll even own that one. That was me. That was me right now. That worst prediction. So we're gonna get Parker back on hopefully in the next couple weeks, and we'll go through this. I mean, he has, I'm sure, watched all of these, and so I'd love to get his thoughts because we've been able to see a bunch of them, but not all of them. And I'd love to get his thoughts on kind of how things went. I mean, there's some surprises here. There were some that, we got
That
very
we
wrong.
all got wrong. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be
You know what
fun.
we should
That was a
do
really fun
for-
episode of the Parker. That I'm looking forward to that.
We
Yeah,
should
so-
we should kick off our debate series that we're talking about. That I don't think
Yeah.
we've teased out yet, so we won't maybe do it now. But we have a series of debates coming up, and maybe we can kick that off with the 4 of us getting together, reviewing our picks, and then debating which was the best blockbuster this summer.
Yeah, because there were some big movies. Like I didn't see, and I still, if I could find the time, I would love to go see F1. That movie was just so. I wasn't surprised. I think I predicted that to be very good. Yes, I did. That was actually one of my closest picks.
Yeah, and it looks
for
like a
that
really
one.
fun one to see in the theater.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
And some of them were, there's some surprises here in what we predicted, and then what people like audience scores were so different for some of these movies that we thought were not going to be well received by the audience that were very well received
Like
by the
Minecraft.
audiences. Yeah, and others. And so, there were some pretty big surprises actually for that. So, listeners, in the next couple of weeks, we will have that. We will do a review of our 2025 predictions. We will crown the victor on who picked it the best, but that will likely be a few weeks from now. I got to
If it
talk
was
to
darker, then I don't think we should ask him to come back for that episode.
yeah. I will not tell anybody. That is secret. Yeah, no one will know until that time. So, all right. Well, why don't we now pivot into what I was wanting to talk to you guys about? And today's episode, the main topic of today's episode is, should Jordan buy a Tesla? Total pivot, total shift here, but it's because I'm in the market for a second vehicle, and it's funny how we're moving closer to the church, and we've had a single vehicle for the last 10 years and have driven hours and hours a week to the church on a single vehicle, making it work. But now that Alyssa's going to be teaching at the school, she needs to have the car every day, and so we need to have a second vehicle. So I then, just in typical nerd fashion, was like, well, can I get away with like a cool car? And I've been a big Tesla fan for a long time because I'm not a huge car guy. but I'm a big tech guy. And so Tesla's kind of the ultimate
Yeah. So
tech
you're like,
guy's
I
car.
could just buy a giant remote control car and
Yes.
drive it around.
So I've been doing a lot of research on pros and cons and cost of, long-term cost, immediate cost, insurance, all these things. So I've got my thoughts on a Tesla, but I'm curious for you guys, just like big picture, what are your guys' thoughts on electric vehicles? Are you pro electric vehicle? Are you against electric vehicles?
I I'm pretty indifferent in the same way that I'm not like pro or against internal combustion engines. They're just a thing and they exist and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Um like I don't know. I think they're cool. I think there's a lot of cool things that already exist and then inevitably even cooler things that are going to come out with EVs and Teslas in particular. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm pro-ish.
Okay. Nate, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same. I think for a little while, I would have been down on electric vehicles just because there's always that pull inside of me to be antagonistic to whatever like the liberals like. So if if generally they want us to move away from the exhaust fumes of a motor vehicle and using oil, then that's all I want to use
And you're
natural
like,
gas, oil, and
F350 it is.
petroleum, and but yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that natural antagonism in me. But I mean, I think here's the thing. I've never been a car guy. So like I don't generally care a whole lot. I'm not the guy who's like, "Oh, so and so has a great vehicle," or like, "I'd love this." I've always been very pragmatic about cars. Like I remember Colleen who, knows I would say she's more of a car girl than I am a car guy, where she'd be like, "Hey, like let's just say, because we were looking at this for a second vehicle, I ended up getting hand-me-down from my brother-in-law, but we were talking about like, oh, what would you want if it's in a second vehicle if price was no option? And I was just kind of like, I don't know, I'd probably just want like a hybrid Accord or something. Like it was just so boring because it's all pragmatic for me. So I'm not a huge car guy, but I do think like there are when you see some of the technology that's in the Teslas, it's pretty cool. Like there is something to be said. Like just like I'm not a huge tech guy either, but then when you convince me to get an Apple for my next laptop and just how much that's improved productivity and integration stuff in my life, I'm like, yeah, I think it would be I think they're pretty cool and there's a lot of neat stuff with them. I mean the infrastructure right now is sort of like, do I want our provincial and municipal governments investing infrastructure money in, building charging stations for Teslas when we already have all these gas stations and stuff? Probably not. But if that's a direction we're moving, it's got to happen at some point. Interestingly, I did prompt ChatGPT and I asked, should Jordan Cecile from the Reforming Nerdom podcast, the Ezra Institute, and Cecile Marketing, should Jordan Cecile buy a Tesla? And here's ChatGPT's response. If we're talking about Jordan Cecile in real life and not as an RPG character from the Borderlands universe, then my answer will depend on whether you want the pragmatic, brand image, or nerd culture take. Number one, pragmatic considerations, driving and range needs. If his commute and travel patterns are largely urban or suburban, a Tesla's range will be plenty. If he's frequently doing long rural Ontario drives for Ezra Institute events, he'll need to map charging spots carefully. Charging infrastructure. Ontario's supercharger network is decent, but still requires planning outside main corridors. Budget and depreciation. Teslas hold value better than many EVs, but not as well as Toyota hybrids. Canadian winters. Cold weather will sap range and require preheating. All-wheel drive models fare much better in the snow. Brand and optics. Pros. Tesla's image is tech-savvy, forward-thinking, and a little rebellious, which fits reforming nerdom vibe. Cons. Tesla ownership is sometimes politically polarizing. Worth considering the audience in ministry and business context, but I'm sure Jordan won't mind. Third, nerd culture bonus points. Easter eggs and tech. Tesla software quirks such as romance mode and light show hidden arcade games would make podcast worthy and meme friendly content. Market tie-ins, a Reforming Nerdom episode reviewing a Tesla's tech from a Christian worldview, that's on brand. Verdict: if Jordan values tech appeal, content potential, and echo modern branding and is okay with the political baggage, then yes, especially if he chooses a Model Y all-wheel drive for winter reliability.
Oh,
So,
it even knows which one you should get. Wow.
wasn't that funny?
So
Like, I was shocked, and obviously it knows because we've prepped Reforming Nerdom podcast episodes in here and stuff, but I just like it's creepy how well that assessed it for you
So
particularly.
what conversation were you already having with ChatGPT that led it to think that you were talking about Jordan Cecile from Borderlands?
Well, because so one of the things when we were talking about games that were coming up, I actually put in like, what are some video games that are coming up? And it said Borderlands 4, and I was like, oh, give me some information for Borderlands 4 because I was a Borderlands 2 fan. So that was in the that was how the conversation started, and then
Oh,
I asked about the Tesla. So that's how, because I thought that was quite funny too. I'm like, what Borderlands?
so it just got like 10 extra bonus points when it said it essentially makes me anti-government, which or and that's like that's funny because it's one of the things that I find just I'm genuinely confused by because so much of what Elon is doing in the world I love, but then it is also, he's anti-government and the government hates him. But then people do say that electric vehicles are the thing that the government will use to enslave us because then you're relying on the grid, which you have no control over. And yet there's just like these polar opposites kind of fighting against each other where like the government hates him, but yet he's also doing the thing that they want him to do. And so it's like, well, what is like the truth in all of that? So like that's one of the things, like even with Elon, it's funny because as I've been researching Teslas, because the value of it or like the aftermarket or used market for Teslas right now has dropped drastically in the last year or so. And it's funny because that is a result of so many boomers who bought it and now they don't like they don't like Tesla and Elon specifically. So they're selling their EVs that they bought a few years ago. And so now the market's just kind of not flooded, but there's a lot more on the market now
so
because
just
all these boomers.
keep your eye on Twitter and the next like big
Yeah.
controversial Elon tweet go out the next day and
Buy
pick
a
up your
Tesla,
Tesla.
particularly a Model Y all-wheel drive.
Model Y is great because so it has the potential, depending on the model, it has a third row seat. So you can actually, it's not big, like none of us would comfortably sit back there, but for kids, like you can have a kid sit in the back very comfortably. So it actually has the potential. And funny enough, the Model S, the older Model S's have in the trunk for some of the models a fold up seat, so a rear facing seat that you can actually have set up. So again, for kids, and I've seen people put car seats in it. So you actually can have 7 passenger Teslas. So, because that's the thing, like all the factors that we're thinking about for vehicles. Like one, I'm not going to be driving it a ton because I work from home. I mean, like being closer to the church, I'll probably like we're going to be setting up an Ezra office there. So it's like I'll probably be at the church a couple times a week. So okay, so there's going to be that drive, not super far. It's not something that, yeah, I'm not distance wise. I'm not driving a ton. Fuel, I'm not having to. I don't need to be. I mean, Ezra stuff, sure, we're driving a little bit, but a couple times, or a handful of times per year, am I going to have to drive a few hours? Not a big deal. So when I just look at all of those things, and like we would like a vehicle that we can have for the whole family if we needed to. It doesn't have to be, but if we needed to, and it's like okay, so I looked into it, and maintenance costs on an EV typically a lot lower unless you need some of the bigger ticket things. So if you need your screen replaced, yeah, like that's going to cost a bit. But guess what? You buy a newer car and you need to replace the entertainment thing. That's not going to be cheap either. So yes, it might be more because the Tesla has a bigger screen on it. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit more. But you don't do oil changes. The number of moving parts on an EV are drastically less. Again, we're living in Ontario, so yeah, there's going to be some drop in range during the winter, but if I have it at home, I'm having it plugged in, and so the battery is kind of conditioning beforehand, so it's already going to be warmed and ready to, so it's like that's not a huge concern because I'm not driving long distances. Um, And then obviously like fuel, the numbers that I ran. So like the other thing that we're looking at, which is the absolute polar opposite, is a pickup truck. So it's like those are kind of the things that like Mel wants a pick.
Either a V8
Yeah.
pickup truck or a
It has to be a middle finger to the government one way or the other.
Either way, yeah, they're gonna hate me. But I mean, we do have a need for a pickup truck occasionally throughout the year, but it's not a lot. So I mean, we can figure out ways of getting things without needing a pickup truck. But yeah, it was, I think for 15,000 kilometers in Ontario with current gas prices, it was estimating that gas with a V8 Hemi F-150, or sorry, 1500 was going to be something like $3,000 a year in gas. I think it was something like that. And for driving, if I was charging a Tesla at home, it would be less than $400 a year in electricity in order to drive a Tesla. And so it's like you look at it, maintenance costs typically are less, fuel costs drastically less. Insurance might be a little bit higher depending on the model you get, but it's not going to be anything. You might be paying an extra 20 or 30 bucks a month. Like it's not anything crazy. The biggest thing that I have with the actual like vehicle itself is there's the battery degradation that happens over time. Like any lithium ion battery, it's going to degrade in its charge over time. But in looking at it, it's like 10% is every 100,000 or 150,000 kilometers in degradation. So you have these cars that are 10 years old, and it's like, okay, it's lost 10%. Maybe if it's a bad, not you haven't charged it properly. Because even the interesting thing with Teslas is, one, like the media hates them, so they're just going to try to fearmonger people and say, oh, you're going to have to replace your battery, and it's going to cost you $15,000 to replace your battery in your Tesla, which is possible. Like there are now, because EVs are more prominent, there's a lot of third-party car dealerships and shops that actually specialize now in EVs. So most people now can just get their battery reconditioned, or they can just like swap out individual cells in there, so you don't have to do a full battery pack replacement. And so like but the chances of that happening for a newer, I think it was said a Tesla, because they changed the battery tech in 2016, the chances of a 2016 or newer needing a brand new battery is like 1%. So it's like, even if you said 95%, you're talking about like a 95% chance of buying the vehicle that it doesn't need a brand new battery pack replacement, which could cost you up to like 15 grand. So it's like, it's a pretty low risk. But then even in that, you can likely get away with reconditioning or going to a third party supplier and doing it that way, which would be a lot less than going directly through Tesla. So it's like, that's not really a huge risk, really. Like, considering like any car can be a lemon, right? Like you could buy a car, and what's the cost of replacing the engine of a Hemi V8? Probably 10 grand to do
Right.
that. So it's not actually that much of a risk. So when I just like
What's your
look at,
con, Jordan?
well, like right now the biggest con is Mel. Just
The wife you gave me, God.
it's making this really problematic for me, because I've like literally not printed out, but I've read out all of this. I had ChatGPT put this like big 5-year cost breakdown together, factoring in insurance and even like the potential of the battery. And it was saying that compared to a RAM, even if I needed to replace and do full cost replacement of a battery, I would still be saving over 5 years, like factoring the cost of the vehicle, all those things, I'd be saving like $3,000. And so it's like, I'm failing to see a lot of the drawback here, but then you also get like safety wise, the Teslas are the highest rated vehicles for safety, like some of the, if not the highest rated safety vehicle. So like, because I think they're made out of aluminum, and so they're actually just like like very durable, and like they can take a crash like really well. Like
Like
they're actually
safe if you get in a fight with Magneto.
That's right.
Well played. Well played. And they
I
don't
didn't
think
tell
you
her
can
that.
ignore that.
No, I didn't tell her that. I'm add that to my list. But it's just, so it's like, so safety wise, it's good. Fuel economy wise, it's good. And like obviously like the tech stuff is really nice. Like there's all these things where people say like, oh, well, what if you forget to charge? Well, the app will actually remind you at home, hey, you didn't like your battery's at this percentage. Make like don't forget to plug it in. So you're charging it at home. There's going to be a small cost of getting a charger installed at home, but I mean, with install and the actual charging thing, you're looking at probably like 600 or 700 bucks. So it's not crazy. So you add that to the cost of it. But then just the have you guys ever driven a Tesla?
No.
Have
So I went and test drove a couple of them on last weekend. And let me tell you, that was the most fun I've ever had driving a vehicle in my whole life. It was, and I had like a nice little sporty Mazda Speed Protege back when I was younger. It had a turbo in it, like stick. It was a blast to drive. This was the most fun vehicle I've ever driven. Like when you experience that Excel, and the one I drove was like a P, not even a P. So in like the Teslas, there's the numbers and the D. So it's if it's like a P90D, it's a performance. It has a 90 kilowatt hour battery and it's D for dual motor. So it would be which just makes it faster. So the one I drove was like a 75. I don't think even like a dual motor. It was just like a fairly standard one. And that thing just like shot. And I accelerated and it handled like a dream. And because because of the way like where the battery pack is, like the weight distribution in the vehicle is actually really good for center of gravity. And so it handles turns really well. You can adjust the height of it. It has adjustable suspension. So if you want to ride it higher or lower, whatever, and you just like literally do that by pushing a button. So it handled like a dream. And this was like a crappy one that the guy at the dealership, he's like, oh yeah, this is one we're not even trying to sell it, but the other one's at my other spot. So he's like, just drive this and get a feel for it. It was like, this is a crap Tesla. Like a one that it didn't even have a back seat. And it was unreal how fun it was. So then
So did you
it
put
just
it
like,
on? Did you put it on self-driving mode and just play Shredder's Revenge on the?
so this one did not have full self-driving, and that's one of the things that you got to get a slightly newer one to have the computer in it that does the full self-driving. It did have autopilot. I didn't test that. I didn't get on a highway to test that, but like all of those things, like that's great. The autopilot's cool. Full self-driving is crazy. The Sentry mode where you can like push the button and the car will come out of its parking spot and just like meet you at the door. Like that's nuts. And like
Like
no other
you're
cars.
buying a transformer.
Yes. Yeah, like
A
it's
little beat.
crazy. And so that's the part that really like initially made me think like, oh, it'd be really fun to have a Tesla for all the fun stuff that comes with it, right? Like it'd just be a fun car to drive. But then you look at the aftermarket, it's like, oh, it's actually not unreasonably priced now to get like a 2015 Model S with 100,000 kilometers. It's not that much different than getting a similar gas vehicle. It's probably going to be a little bit more, but not that much. But then when you factor in the cost savings annually in fuel and maintenance, so I'm just like struggling to see like why don't I buy a Tesla, right? And because obviously if it makes me anti-government, jackpot. I like Elon, so if some boomer wants to sell me their car because they don't like Elon, then it's like sweet, I'll take it from you. Like I don't know. And so anyway, I don't
And
know.
and it very much has a vibe of like it's running out of stormlight, and so you need to wait for a high storm.
Uh,
You need to find the high
yeah.
storm to go and recharge your
And
stormlight.
there's a supercharger in Ingersoll, which is where we're moving to. So
Kinda
it's
like
like,
on Smith.
yeah, I'll call it that. If I could like program it to cut in but because like that's like one of the things as well. People say like, oh well, what if you need fuel? It's like, well, over the last, I don't know how long Tesla's been around. Let's say 15 years, 10 to 15 years. The supercharger network is massive. Like the
Mm,
number of superchargers, because the thing that Elon was like really brilliant about is he allowed other businesses to then also just like piggyback and like add superchargers to their location. So it's not like Tesla's going and having to set up all these things. Like so the one in
Yeah, like
Ingersoll
they don't have to
is
go buy property to put up
no,
a supercharger. They just plop it onto
no,
some existing whatever.
yeah. And so like the owner then submits an application to be a supercharging destination, and then Tesla obviously comes in and brings in all of their the chargers and all the stuff that they would need. But they're all over the place. And you can, if you're using a supercharger, you can on a you can get from I think they said on the older ones it's less because they can't charge as fast as the newer ones, but you can get like 60 to 70% of your battery charged in like 15 minutes. So is that really that much of an inconvenience for when you're even if you did have a longer travel and you needed to top up for and you only had like it's like 15 minutes. It's like, well, you're going to a gas station sometimes and waiting in line for 5 or 10. So like whatever, you're adding an extra couple minutes, but like that's not even really so it's like that's not a con for it. And one of the ones that Mel that she had heard was that fire departments won't if a Tesla is at a crash site, they won't like go and deal with it. And it's like, well, no, they will, because fire departments now are trained in EVs, and so they have like protocol and procedure. Now, if any car is on fire, they're going to be cautious. Obviously, an electric vehicle that's on fire is a higher risk than a gas vehicle if it's on fire. But they don't just like leave people to die if they're like so like they're trying to make it seem like an electric vehicle is just going to explode. And again, the number of those that have ever actually happened is so small that it's like, okay, you're just throwing out a like not a straw man because it does happen, but probably point zero something percent of Teslas have actually blown up. But so that's like not even really a
Well,
concern. So
and
it's
if
like,
your car is on fire, like, what are the chances that you're like, whether it's gas or EV, like, what are the chances the fire guys get there before you all die anyway? If you're trapped inside a
well,
flaming vehicle, like,
well, and that's it. To make a decision
just
based
your
on
time.
something that, yeah, like the chances of that happening are so infinitesimal that it's like that's not really a concern. So I just like
All
it
right, so
started as like a fun thought experiment, and now I'm just like, okay, I need somebody to talk me down if this is crazy or not, because it seems to be making actually a lot of sense, like economically, fun wise, family wise, all those things. So am I
so
crazy?
you're not crazy, and I think for our listeners, far more interesting than your family conundrum about what vehicle to drive with is what will this lead to in terms of reforming nerddom content and segments. So I asked ChatGPT very quickly to help us with some ideas for segments that we could do if Jordan does buy a Tesla. And so uh, first of all, the first segment
Oh,
it came up
I
with
have an
was
idea. So the first segment could be every episode we ask, did it explode or not?
is Jordan here? If it's a blank square,
Soon Jordan's Tesla exploded if with him in it.
it's just the game over screen. So, ChatGPT thought that the weekly segment could be called "Theological Reflections from the Driver's Seat of an Autonomous Chariot," but there are actually, but there's actually a couple of decent ones. So let me just give you. So, uh, one of the segment ideas was premillennial post collision eschatology explained entirely through Tesla's autopilot scenarios. Not bad.
This sounds
Mhm.
this sounds a little bit like ripping off comedians in cars getting coffee.
Maybe. I don't know. I can ask where it got its content from, but here's a good one. Um, limited slip, unlimited atonement, sorting out the mechanics of grace in a world with bad traction. That's not bad. It's just not bad.
It's pretty bad. It's on the
Hold on.
nose, but I like it.
Autonomous but not antinomian. The self-driving car
Ooh.
still obeys the rules of the road, unlike half the church parking lot. Not bad.
So it's sanctifying, you could
Yeah.
say.
Eschatology of the exit ramp, knowing when it's time to merge into glory. Ba- baptism by rain sensor. When the heavens open up, the windshield receives it. Sprinkling, not immersion. So it it knows you, Jordan.
It does.
Justification by regenerative braking. If it's not works, it's energy you didn't even know you had. So, well, you come up with better ones then, wise guy.
I did. Well,
What was yours again?
Did
am I dead?
did Jordan's car explode or not?
All right. And you think that's better than theonomy at the four-way stop. Obedience is measured by what you do when no one else is watching.
I don't know, Ben.
These
I don't
are
know, Ben.
these are fortune cookies. Come on.
You know what, Ben?
I'm
Whatever we
trying.
need to do for this to be a legitimate contributor to the future of Reforming Nerdom content, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
All right.
Preaching to the charging
Yeah,
choir,
this
edifying
this
those
is
who are already plugged into the source.
Ooh,
this is
ooh.
this is
So
this
terrible.
goes out. This has to go out to the listeners. The top 3 Jordan bought a Tesla Reforming Nerdom segments get like they're gonna happen legitimately
How about
on the
this?
show.
How about what if like we challenge all our listeners to respond to this episode on YouTube with like a quick one-liner and then a like yes or no. And we'll pick the 3 best, and based on their votes, Jordan will or
Or
will
like
not
the
buy.
just like most thumbs up.
Yeah.
The one that
There
gets
you
the
go.
most
Yeah,
thumbs
most
up on
thumbs
the
up
comment.
on
Yeah.
the one-line comment. And so you have to put your one-line comment, and then do you vote that Jordan gets a Tesla or not? So do your one line in quotations, and then yes or no. And with the most thumbs up, will I I will personally make sure that Jordan buys or does not buy a Tesla based solely on this
Yep.
social media experiment.
Melissa, the fans have spoken,
Well, just
and
she just has to go vote.
yeah, that's right. Oh, that might be the one time that you see Melissa really engage with our content is to
Sorry, honey.
yeah, to dissuade me from doing this.
The mob has spoken.
And we are nothing if not subservient to the mob.
That's right. That's right. Well, I don't know. I feel like I'm at the point of being talked down from this. Like it's kind of being settled in my mind, and now I'm just looking for the right one with because I don't know. You see the videos of people when they're driving. Now, granted, it's like the plaid version, which is like 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds, I think, which is bananas.
That's not a lot of
But
sickness.
no, like, and so, but even in the one that I drove, like a junker one, and feeling that thing, it was like, okay, this is nutty. And when it's because that like that instant torque and like it just shoots off a lot. It was that was something. Like, yes, having a truck would be fun, and like I like the idea of being able to have a truck, and like sitting up high is nice, but like trucks break so easily. Parts, you're always having to do maintenance stuff on it. And it's like, I don't know. This seems like a great option that is
For
low risk.
If you'd like me to play devil's advocate, I can't help but notice you're wearing a Jurassic Park shirt.
Mm.
And
I-
when the electric vehicles power went out in front of the Tyrannosaurus Rex enclosure, if they had have had a gas vehicle, they would have gotten away, but instead the guy got eaten on the toilet. So
I would
perhaps
appreciate, yeah, I would appreciate you not mentioning that to Melissa. Um,
so
just,
clearly you
just
can't go to Jurassic Park with your
no.
Tesla.
That was a good poll. I appreciated that. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just avoid islands that
With
are
dinosaurs.
run by a fat guy in glasses behind his computer.
Monopoly Island?
Well, I mean, don't avoid them entirely. Just if you have a Tesla.
Right.
Just if
right.
just if you
Just
have a
bring
Tesla.
your
And just to
truck.
be safe, because I don't know what they're doing these days, the Emerys have been there more recently. I don't even take your Tesla to like African lion safari. Just just be safe. Rhinoceri are very close and akin to dinosaurs.
That's true. All right. So if I avoid dinosaur islands, Tesla is a pretty good purchase that
The question you have to
helps.
ask yourself is how many dinosaurs are you going to be driving near?
Yeah. Is it worth it?
I mean, what is a dinosaur, Nate? Like, what is a dinosaur? I don't know.
Well, it a dinosaur is obviously a winged demon in the physical world. So the question really becomes, how many dragons are you looking to slay in your Tesla?
So many. Now, this is taken on a spiritual significance. Is yeah. All
All
right.
right. I
Well,
feel like we're slipping into absurdity.
yeah, we are. But so, long story short, Jordan should buy a Tesla. Listeners, if you agree, let me know. I'm sure there are people. There are people who are so hardcore passionate um about this, about EVs, about whether that you should just be using a gas vehicle. I mean, I don't say any of this is somebody who's not aware that our government hates us and wants to enslave us. I know all those things, but like the reality is, if they really did want to do that, they're going to make the cost of gas so absurd that nobody can actually afford it. So it's like the argument, I think, goes away pretty quick because they'll just tax the heck out of gas so you can't afford it anyway. So it's like, if they really want to do that, whether it's on the grid or it is taxation of our fuel, it doesn't matter. Like that's not really, I don't think, an argument. And so I just want to have joy and fun driving a car. And yeah, we'll see. Listeners, you will find out soon because I need to buy a vehicle within the next like month. So you're going to find out, and I will. This conversation has done nothing but further persuade me that I should buy a Tesla. So thank you, boys. I'll be sure to tell Melissa that the result of this conversation was
Or don't. You don't have to.
excellent.
Don't feel the need to.
And listeners, join us next time for our segment, Did Jordan's Tesla Explode or Not?
Or did he get eaten by a dinosaur?
I mean, what a way to go. If it comes down to that, there are worse ways. I'd be okay with that. So, alrighty. Well, boys, anything else EV related or anything else that you guys want to say before we wrap this up?
Nothing.
Nope.
Just waiting for the opportunity to drive your car.
And I will let you. I will because everybody should enjoy the experience and joy of driving an electric vehicle. You really should.
So join us next time on Should Ben Buy a Tesla?
All right. Well, listeners, thank you again for tuning in. And just a reminder that you can join us over at Patreon and join us at our Discord. I'd love to have you over there. But until next time, stay nerdy.